minerals are supposed to be in our food, but because of how many people are now on the planet and how big farming has changed, and our nutrition is no longer the same density as it was in our foods. And it's exponentially worse every year as we go.
Just a little taster of what is coming up on the show. But first, please do like this video and subscribe to the channel. And also tell your friends and family about this podcast. Please let us know in the comments if you would like to hear any particular topic in relation to sleep or health. Then I will create a show especially for you, just for asking the question. So let's get on with the show.
Before we start today's video, please be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any new videos.
Hi everybody, you're very welcome back again to another Empowering Family Health podcast. Today on the show, we're going to be talking all about reversing burnout. Yes, I said reversing burnout, not something that I would normally say, but this lady here has seen and done it, and she has done amazing, incredible work with her clients. Her name is Eva Vennari. Is that right, Vennari? Did I say that right? Brilliant.
Yes.
Did I say that correct? Eva Vennari? Yeah. Great.
Yeah, pretty close. Yeah.
I seem to have trouble pronouncing some names of some of my guests, but I just want to make sure I'm using the right name. So before we dive into our conversation all around burnout, and it's a very hot topic, it's one that a lot of people are experiencing, and a lot of the time, many people they're not even aware that this is happening to them until it's too late. But it's never too late. But we don't want to get to that point where we have that burnout, because it's not nice. So let me read out Eva's impressive bio. Eva is the founder and the CEO of the Elevate Institute, and she's a certified nutritional counselor in nutritional balancing. And she's the creator of Reveal, which is an optimal health intensive program. And it really helps you to understand what's going on in your body and what your body needs to heal and rejuvenate. And she is also certified in personal nutrition, metaphysical healer, and certified as a M.I.N.D.S holistic alternative psychology master practitioner. Oh my God, it's a handful. And you can find out more about Eva at the elevateinstitute.com, and we're going to put all her links in the show notes. So Eva, you are very welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm really excited about the conversation that we're going to have, because you know, I'm the sleep coach, and there's a lot of people in the world that are having difficulty sleeping. And I say the number one reason why people are not sleeping is stress. We're doing too much. We're too distracted. We're not taking enough time to rest. And there's a big difference between rest and sleep. Yes. And we're just doing too much. And then this can lead to burnout. So this is a really crucial topic. And I believe women would be more prone to this than men, in my experience. So Eva, before we dive in, tell us a little bit about your background and, you know, why you came to understand this area, and you're really, you know, you've dived deep into this whole area. So give us a bit of background.
I felt like I had no other choice. So for me, I was raising two kids on my own. Their father had passed, and I was getting very little help in all ways. And that's enough to make a person, you know, go down that slippery slope of burnout. But I was already on a tilted edge to begin with and didn't know it. And I think a lot of us are there. So I ended up with all these diagnoses at a very young age. I was told I had depression in my teenage years. And then I was infertile at the age of 22. And I had autoimmune disorder. And I ended up with perimenopause at the age of 28. So those things shouldn't happen. And along the way, collected a bunch of other really exciting terms like chronic fatigue, anxiety, insomnia, depression, fibromyalgia, itchy skin, heart palpitations, arthritis. The list goes on.
Wow.
And yeah, so I was just persistent and determined to reverse all of this as much as I could without drugs, without trying some new fad or trend. There's no flower in the Amazon that's ever going to bloom to fix this, right? It's this is a whole life change. So I became self-educated. And over the course of 16 years, I came across many different ways to try and enter into a state of healing and homeostasis to reverse this, but didn't make real definite progress until I met mineral balancing science.
Mineral balancing science. Okay, so what's significant about mineral balancing? Because we talk all about, we hear all about the diets and food is my medicine and all this sort of thing. And yes, food helps, but what is it about minerals that's different?
Well, minerals are supposed to be in our food, but because of how many people are now on the planet and how big farming has changed, and our nutrition is no longer the same density as it was in our foods, and it's exponentially worse every year as we go. So there's that. If you stick a pin in that one, then you've got another where we're born with the imbalances of our mother. So we're not born perfectly, which everybody goes, really? No, you're not. Dang it. Right. So you're overcoming the imbalances. Yeah. So there's that. Yeah. And then we think stress is something that happens outside of us. And because of those imbalances that are occurring, we're supposed to be made of those preferred minerals, supposed to be in our food, but when they're not. Do you remember that show MacGyver, where he would take what was in around his environment and make bombs and stuff and things that he needed, right? So our body does the same thing. It has a priority list. It says, I've got a preferred mineral. I would love, love, love to have it. But since it's not here in your diet, I'm going to pull what's readily available, i.e. a toxic metal, a heavy metal, something else that doesn't belong, but the body can use it. So we hobble along on all these spare tires, if you will, trying to be productive, and we find that we're less productive with them. So mineral balancing science is the automatic reversal, plugging into that body's natural and already programmed response that says, when I get a nutrient mineral in my experience, I'm going to use that and displace the toxins, which then raises our immune system, which then kills off all the viruses that we're exposed to, etc. So that's the science.
I never thought of it as a science, actually. I mean, I've heard of, being deficient in minerals and all of that, but I never thought of it as a science. And I love what you said about the toxins, because I was aware, all right, about the nutritional density of foods, and we're over-farming the land and the pesticides, herbicides, and all those toxins in our food. And it's not our fault, right? And 80%, between 60 and 80% of the food that's in supermarkets is processed or ultra processed. That's another thing. So we've all of this going on, but it sounds like there's no hope, but there is hope.
There is.
There is hope. We do have power. We just have to educate ourselves and, look at what works. And, I've heard of people going for blood tests and saliva tests, and, people getting their health checked or whatever. And they come back and say, oh yeah, my blood work is fine. So what's different about the hair analysis? Because that's your protocol is the hair. What's different about the hair analysis that's different from saliva or stool samples or blood tests?
Yeah. And I love to say, you test your blood. Why don't you test your hair as a means to kind of get people to ask, well, why? Right. So great question. And I answer it a lot. So blood, it gives you that really important information. That's a snapshot of what's going on in the body right now, this red hot minute. When it comes to hair, you're cutting about an inch's worth of growth. And I've got waist length hair. So when I cut my hair, it's from like the back of the head. And guys, if you're bald, don't sit there and go, I can't do it. I don't have, honey, you grow hair somewhere. So when you're submitting your hair, you're submitting about a 30-day growth history. What is your body taking in? Drink, water, food, air, whatever sits against your skin all day long that you absorb in. There's no doorman. There's a party. Everything's welcome in. You make more you. That's that MacGyvering. The leftover gets set into our soft tissue, which is our hair and our nails. So when we test the hair, we're seeing a long-term period. What is our metabolism? Are we strong enough to get rid of the toxins that we're exposed to? In other words, are we filled with those preferred minerals or not? Or are we using toxins instead? I can see what's going on with your glands on an overall structure. Are you creating enough? Is it getting into the cell structure? Is the cell structure being created well enough to absorb those hormones that are within normal range on your blood, but not getting into the cell? So if it's not making its way into the cell, it's not being utilized.
Oh my God, Eva, that is so much information. And I love that, because I remember I went for my blood a blood test last year, and it was really to test my hormones, you know, for the perimenopause and menopause, see where I am. And I got bloods done, and they said you're menopausal. And I'm like, how am I menopausal? I'm having periods, I'm having regular periods, right? But at the time, I was skipped a period for a couple of months at the time. Now, since then, I've had regular periods since then. And I'm like, I was just really, really confused. And our body does fluctuate with hormones. Even as a sleep science coach, I talk about how our hormones fluctuate in a 24-hour period. Never mind, like, you know, when you're talking about right there in the moment in you know, when you get the blood thing done. So like our body does fluctuate, and it goes through this cycle, and we've different body clocks, and, you know, different things happen at different times during the day. You know, even our cortisol is different levels. It's highest in the morning. So I love that. So it really gives an overall picture of the last 30 days, because it's kind of the average of, you know, everything that's going on. That's incredible. So I can tell you if you're absorbing minerals and your metabolism, and that's an incredible amount of information.
It's a great amount of information. And a lot of people will say, well, where do I get my hair tested? And I'm like, it's included in the service because we don't naturally know how to apply it. And that's what I offer, is that way to make it completely guess-free. It's like, what do I need to do first and foremost? What do I need to cut out of my diet? And I'll give you a freebie. Stop eating bananas.
No way. Really? Why?
Yeah. They're full of fructose at such a high level that it basically shuts down your liver while it's busy getting rid of that fructose. It doesn't process. So fructose from sugar from fruits do not process through the digestive tract.
Is it not part fructose and part, it's just mainly fructose, is it, in the bananas?
Yeah, the fructose. I mean, everybody thinks about it for potassium, but there's so little potassium in bananas. It would take 26 bananas a day to reach your potassium level.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and it's just this little bit of information. You apply it appropriately. If your liver stops functioning to do its normal 420, however many, you know, processes it's supposed to do, it's a very busy thing.
Yeah.
It's not detoxing you while it's getting rid of the fructose. So it's about understanding what your body needs to heal itself. What can I do? What's a huge red flag right now in this red hot minute that I need to change in order to make progress? And then that changes as your body starts to get stronger and stronger and stronger. You go from not being able to eat wheat or gluten, right? Or anything that has dairy in it, or corn, or a lot of people have these food sensitivities they call allergies, but it's not an allergy. It's not an anaphylactic shock. It's just, I'm sensitive to it. I feel bloated. I feel terrible after eating it. I want to lay my head down and go to sleep for 20 minutes after eating this. You should feel better, if not the same, after eating food. So anyways, when our body is communicating with us saying, I need to shut down, that's a problem. Avoid it for a bit. Let your body get stronger and then try it again. And that's the strategy.
I love that. Yeah, because like if you listen to the body and you tune into what's kind of happening, if you're tired or there's an effect after eating something, obviously your body is not processing it optimally. It's having to work harder for some reason. It's struggling with it for some reason. So we need to listen to our body. And, you know, you're talking about the detox. Detoxing is such an important part of our health as well. And a lot of that is done at nighttime when we're sleeping. And the liver health is more active at nighttime, especially in the first part of the night. I often say to people, you know, if you wake up around that time, you know, between 1 and 3 in the morning, around that time, usually, you know, it could be that your liver is having to overwork and it's just too hard. Right. So that's something that's really, so that our liver health is really important. And then when you talk about chronic fatigue, and because this is obviously something that a lot of these people experience, especially, you know, when they're near to that burnout stage, is the chronic fatigue. Can you talk to us about what does chronic fatigue look like, and how does it differ between being tired? Because it's a big difference.
Like between being tired, tired is I can take a nap and I can feel better after my nap. Yep. Chronic fatigue is, and there's a definition that is clinical, but I don't have it top of mind. I just know that when you're diagnosed with it, it meets this condition. It's like you've been consistently and progressively tired, where even a nap does not give you relief. Yeah. It's where we tend to get there by overindulging in things that what I call whip our adrenals. That could be coffee. That could be going out dancing and drinking every night. That could be Overworking too much, over exercising. We all say, oh, exercise is good for you. To a degree, you don't want to exercise to exhaustion. There goes all of your healing abilities, all of your battery pack, if you will, for healing the things that you don't know that you need to heal.
I love that you said that, because I had a client who was desperate to sleep, desperate to just get asleep. And he would run like for miles before going to bed, and he'd come home hoping that he'd be exhausted and fall into bed exhausted. But it was the worst thing that he could have done, because his adrenaline was up, his cortisol, his body temperature, all that was up. All the wrong conditions for sleep.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a crazy thing. It's counterintuitive. You need energy to sleep.
You do need energy to sleep. Yes, absolutely. So if you're exhausting yourself to the point where you think you're going to fall into bed, it's not going to work. You will not. You'll be wired and tired. So yeah, I just really wanted to make that distinction, and about the fatigue as well, because so many people say, you know, oh, just go and have a nap, but it's a misunderstanding, and it really makes that person feel unheard or not, you know, not understood, that, you know, a nap's not going to do it. It's more than just taking a nap.
Yeah, you could fall asleep for 2 weeks and wake up and still have the fatigue.
Yeah.
This is a metabolic level change in your body's ability to process energy. And that's calories, that's food. And so if your digestion stops and you're just passing food through without actually pulling the minerals out of it for your energy, and that's usually the root cause of a lot of chronic illness, then you're not getting the energy that you need. And therefore, there's kind of no point in eating any quality food. You can spend as much as you want on all that organic food if you want to. But if your digestion is off, forget it.
And this can all lead to autoimmune disease as well.
Oh, it's part of it. So every opportunity the body has to create more you with a toxic metal versus the preferred mineral, it actually suppresses the immune system. And most people have somewhere between 6 and 12 different viruses that the body has yet to be able to handle. It's in the body, banging around, causing inflammation. And then go to the doctor like, well, why is my gallbladder inflamed? They're not connecting the dots between your body's immune system and why parts of you are getting inflamed. And all they're doing is removing them out. And I'm like, no, stop removing body parts. We need to control, you know, go back to the holistic practices and help the body entirely.
The ability to rest is the body's key to healing. Do you struggle with getting asleep at nighttime, or staying asleep during the night and waking up the next morning feeling absolutely exhausted? My book, How to Get a Good Night's Sleep, is easy to understand. It's solution-based and it's packed with research to help you take back control of your night's sleep. My book is available on Amazon, and it's also available on howtogetaggoodnightsleep.com. This book is also available in audio and ebook. So get your copy today and start having the best night's sleep that you've only ever dreamed of. Yeah. And I love that, because the body is very intelligent, Eva. And, you know, the body is always trying to heal itself, even at times when you don't realize it's actually doing that. And there is a point that before I pressed record, I talked to you about a healing crisis I experienced. Yeah. And, you know, sometimes you can try and heal too quickly, too much, and you end up with this healing crisis and you're just flat on your back, and it's the worst case ever, you know. So something else you mentioned. So obviously we need to have energy to sleep, but we also need energy to heal. Can you talk to us about that? Because that's really a significant point.
So there's something that I wish doctors knew, and I wish they were taught this, but it's so suppressed in knowledge. And I think it's more of a myth to people than reality. And for me, it's reality. It's called 4 stages of healing. And when the body goes through like your healing crisis you're talking about, it has to have enough energy to complete our task of healing, whatever the body decides it needs to heal. And we have such arrogance to think that we're in control of that.
Yes. Yeah. Give your body credit.
The body knows what it needs to do, just like we do at the end of a work day. We've got our for now pile, and then we've got the pile that says we ain't getting to that. Because we don't have the energy or the time or the resources. And so the body does the same thing. And as soon as it picks out, it says, oh, I now have the energy to heal said problem, XYZ, whatever it is. It gets to 100%, just like when you're installing a piece of software on a computer. It downloads that stuff. It starts the installation. Same thing with healing. So when you get to 100% of that energy, it starts the healing process and does not stop until the healing is completely done. And when it's done, that healing is done and gone forever. And then what happens? The body moves on to creating another energy pack for the next thing in priority. That's healing. And if we collectively all knew that, we would recover from surgeries, we would recover from whatever we went into the hospital for much differently. We'd be thinking about things much differently. I think that, anyways, that's a whole nother conversation about being advocate in the hospital.
Yeah, I can see your passion coming out, Eva. I really can. Talk to us. So you have a load of tools, like, you know, there's grounding and there's saunas. I was looking on your website earlier. So there's all these ways. Can you talk to us a little bit about those, or what you'd recommend to help us in the process of healing?
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of confusion because there's so much product out there in the world. If you type in alternative medicine, you get all these tools and the fads and the trends. And I'm here to kind of simplify that. So if you're treating the body in a way that is holistic, like I'm talking about, give it what it needs, it heals itself. Well, you heard me talk about the 4 stages of healing. In those healing stages, you loosen up either a virus or maybe a toxic metal or a bunch of toxic metals that all need to come out. That is the detox in action. So you're going to use something like the sauna therapy to help that come out of the body a little more quickly and enable it better. So there's a ton of different things, but they're appropriately applied rather than just a smattering of, well, I think today I'll go get my chiropractic adjustment. Let's have a strategy. Let's understand why we use our alternative medicines. What's the difference between a strategy treatment and something that is more holistic in nature? So the 2 different things all have their place.
Yeah, brilliant. And I love grounding. I love the because it's such a simple it's such a simple thing that we can do. And I have a pet hate. I like, get me started on electronics and phones and kids using them and all of this, right? We'd be here for 2 or 3 hours, right? Technology is great, you know, it really has advanced us, but in my opinion, we need to control technology and have boundaries rather than letting it control us. So we need to have an understanding and appreciation of it, right? And grounding is something that we can do to offset that energy, you know, all the energy that we get from these devices, and it neutralizes. And back in the 1950s, 1960s, when the runners were made and the rubber soles, because we used to walk barefoot on the earth.
We did.
You know? And when the rubber soles, we've stopped that connection. And what are we doing now with our kids? They're inside playing on the games all the time. They're not out in the grass like they used to be years ago, you know, so that's missing as well. So grounding is a very important, and I'm always talking about it. There's a film called The Grounded and the Earthing movie on YouTube that's free to watch. So they're very good to watch. But grounding in because there has been scientific studies that show it reduces inflammation in the body.
It does. Within 3 seconds. Yeah, within 3 seconds. 3 seconds. Yeah. So if you're grounding yourself, and it's literally the electronic terms, like that, if you take a copper wire and you attach it to yourself and wrap it around your wrist and you run it out the window and stick it into the ground, that is essentially grounding.
Wow.
But we think about it's like, where are we driven or inspired to go on our vacations? Wherever water meets land, right? So mountains with the stream, or the beach with where the water meets the land. These are the best places to get the highest level of grounding. Yeah. And so with that 3 seconds, the earth has a negative charge to it, but the positive charges, that our neoprene soles and our indoor activities with wood flooring keeps us isolated from, we lose that connection with earth. So 3 seconds is all it takes. 20 minutes a day will reduce your inflammation. I had my mother get one of those earthing pads you're talking about.
Yes.
And she put her feet, I says, put your feet on this while you're watching TV, reading a magazine. 20 minutes a day is all you need. 6 months later, she forgets why she's doing it, but she's still doing it. We're on the phone. She goes, Eva, why am I putting my feet on this stupid pad?
Oh my God. Yeah, you see, because it's an invisible energy we don't appreciate, we don't understand it. I've heard so many stories. I heard one story about a lady who is having difficulty feeding her baby. I don't know where I heard the story from, but she found, to make a long story short, that when she was sitting out in the grass and breastfeeding her baby, the baby would feed comfortably. Whereas if the baby was indoors, it wouldn't. It was very disruptive or upset or whatever, you know, and she always found she had to sit out in the grass. I can't remember where I seen that article, if it was a scientific review or what, I can't remember. But yeah, it's just incredible. And some people are more sensitive than others, but it is there. And we know 5G is coming in. And that's even more stronger because there's stronger pulses in 5G. So we just need to be aware of all of this. And I always say to people, don't talk with the phone up to your head. Always put it on speakerphone, you know, and especially I just see children and their skulls are a lot thinner than ours. You know, and we see all this neurodegenerative problems and all the rest. And this could be a contributing factor. We've seen it on MRI scans with the brain all red hot with the phone up to the. So anyway, I just wanted to put that out there as well, because I just can't say that enough. So many people are like, really, that's, you know, I say, Sophia, if you're talking on the phone for 20 minutes, your ear is red hot, like from the phone. That's radiation. But anyway, it's just incredible how powerful it is and how powerful grounding. I've got a guy from Get Grounded in the UK sending me over some, I don't know what he's sending me, but he's sending me something, a grounding mat or the earthen sheets. I don't know what he's sending me, but I'm going to try it out and give him a review. So I'm really curious about that. So because, you know, we spend so much time in our bed as well, you know, and metal springs and all this in our beds and our mattress. So all that to consider. But I wanted to ask you, Eva, before we wrap up, because we're going to wrap up now in a minute, is can you give us, you've loads of tips and tools, and can you oblige us by giving us maybe one of your top tips to help people with their health, really to tune into their body? Or I know you probably have loads, but what would your top one be?
You can see me playing with my cat off screen a little bit. She's just so jealous, but I mean, the love of an animal is amazing.
That could be a tip in and of itself.
And do something to mitigate your EMFs, the electromagnetic fields, and the 5G. So there are products out there that you can put in your environment around you to mitigate those effects, and they do work. You can get them for your phone, right? Exactly. Indeed. I have those all over the house. It's enough to cover the entire block.
Yeah, brilliant.
And you can spend as much or as little as you want. It doesn't have to be a pretty little thing like this. This is over $200, but one like you have is only like, you know, $15, $20, and I have those.
That's all it is. And it just basically takes the energy and transmutes it, just changes it around. That's basically what it does. So I've loads of these little things. There's another one. Look, I've got another one in a love heart shape. And I have it all around the place. And if my daughter's on her laptop, I get her to hold one of these, or she has it on her lap or whatever, you know. And I have one in the bedroom. Now, we don't have electronics in the bedroom, but yeah, they're great. And you can do all these little things just to help you to neutralize that energy. And I'd say some people are more sensitive than others, but it definitely has an impact. And, you know, I looked at some statistics, and 90% of people have a smartphone, own a smartphone, or have access to one. And they also have, every one person has 5 connected devices. So an iPad, a phone, smart TV, whatever, in their home. So you can imagine the amount of these devices in our homes and all the Wi-Fi signals. You go to your Wi-Fi settings, go to a cafe and have a look at all the Wi-Fi signals. Oh my God, it would, and we don't want to scare people.
Well, and one thing to know, you can be a sensitive like you or me and feel the energies. And that's one thing, but everyone is exposed. Everyone is affected regardless of your sensitivity. And that's the term. Oh, I don't feel it. It doesn't matter to me. Absolutely. It does.
Yeah, absolutely. It's invisible. Yeah. But just to say, when you were talking about, you know, the 3 seconds, you know, it takes 3 seconds. Was it yesterday morning or the morning before? I was feeling a bit kind of overwhelmed, and I was doing a lot of work, right? And I wasn't walking my talk, right, of taking rest during the day. And I was like, right, I'm just going to read my book, and I'm not going to do any work. I'm just going to read my book, but I'm going to ground myself first thing in the morning. And it was freezing cold here. It was icy, like, and there was ice here and there, right? And I said, no, I promised myself I'd hurt myself. So I took my shoes and socks off, and I went out into the grass, and it was ice cold. Oh my God. But I was there for about, maybe, I think I managed 10 seconds and I couldn't bear it anymore, but it felt great. So I'm delighted now that it only takes 3 seconds to have an effect. So
yeah, it takes 3 seconds to feel the difference. It takes about 20 minutes to create a change for the day. So that's and you'll notice that when you get your sheets, So try your sheets for 20 minutes. If you don't have any huge reactions, then try sleeping on them, because some people go into huge reactions when they sleep on it for 8 hours like that.
Yeah, that's a great tip. Yeah, I might just put it on another bed.
Yeah,
lay in it for an hour. Yeah, because I don't want another healing crisis like I had a few weeks ago. Oh my God,
it can trigger. Yeah, it can do that.
Listen, we're at the end. I've got to bring my daughter Irish dancing now. The joys of motherhood, mixing work with pleasure. So I just want to finish up, Eva. Maybe just wrap it all up. Maybe one empowering thought that you can leave our audience with that will have them be empowered and to really tune in and listen to their body.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is to stop ignoring what you're used to ignoring. And when you go to the doctor, don't be afraid to question without purpose. So there's the questioning that makes him or her feel like you're questioning their, certificate on the wall. But you're the person who's in charge of your healthcare team. And remember that. You get to make the decision. You just need to be informed so you can make the best decision for you. They're there to provide information. You're there to make the decision for yourself.
I love that. And what came to mind was be your own physician.
To a degree, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Obviously, they're qualified in the medicines and all of that kind of thing. But you can tell the doctor how you're feeling and what's going on, rather than the doctor telling you. So it's not all in your head all the time. Like there is other things at play that you can be in control of and be aware of what's going on and be empowered to talk about it and say, no, this is the way it is for me and it's not in my head. So yeah, it's a big one. I hear a lot of people talking about that. So listen, Eva, it's been a pleasure. You're just so full of information and powerful nuggets that you're dropping there with us. So I really do hope that our listeners will take something on board, and definitely I know that they will take something from that, but take something on board, one little nugget that will make a difference in your life today. So Eva, on that note, thank you. Have a wonderful day and we'll talk to you soon.
Yes, thank you.
And you can find out more about Eva's Reveal programs, how you can avail of her hair mineral analysis tests, her infrared saunas, and much more over on her Elevate Institute website at theelevateinstitute.com. You could also book a free first call to see how Eva can help you. And as always, if you liked this show, please do share it with your friends and family. Subscribe to the channel, and you can buy me a coffee or leave a donation to help support the show. All the links are in the description. I would really appreciate that. Take care and have a great day. I do hope you are enjoying these conversations, and to help me continue pushing these videos and audio podcasts together, I do have an ask. I do need support to help me to keep bringing you knowledge and insights. There is a Patreon link, patreon.com/empowering family health, or you can make a donation via PayPal. All the links are in the description and the pinned comment. You can do a one-off or you can do a monthly support. So I'd really appreciate that. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Take care.